Let's talk some politics now. The National Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has approved the report of the governor of Enugu State, Ifeanyi Ogwuanyi-led zoning committee. This means that all positions currently occupied by the South will go to the North and vice versa. And the date for the convention has been put at the 30th of this month. The governor of Bauchi State, Governor Bala Muhammad, is asking the party to explore the option of a consensus candidate where necessary, but to desist from imposing a candidate on the people. The governor stated this on the sideline of the meeting with the PDP Convention Organizing Committee in Abuja. Take a listen to Governor Muhammad.
Democracy is about consensus, but certainly election and electoral processes can be reduced by having a converging point on an individual, and that would have reduced the disparaging issues within the party. The ideal thing is to have a consensus candidate where we will not have consensus, we will not practice imposition or impunity. Election will be conducted thoroughly. But we have seen that we have resolved the issue of zoning. PDP is a matured party. We have always done it within the experiences that our people have garnered over the years and what we have been able to do for this country. We have learned our mistakes, and we are not going to play to the gallery the way and manner our detractors or our competitors want us to be. We will always resolve our issues. So zoning is over. We have really come over this issue. What we are looking forward is to the emergence of a chairman from the north who will give us the leadership that we require to form a government in 2023.
Governor of Bauchi, Bala Muhammad. But the chairman of the Convention Organizing Committee and the governor of Adamawa State, Amado Fintiri, says it is too early to discuss consensus, even though the party's constitution provides for the practice. Take a listen to him.
Organ of the party have taken decision, and which is the National Executive Council. And I think that decision is final. It is binding on all of us members, and will abide by it, and that is what we are working on. It's too early for us to discuss consensus at this stage because this is a democratic party. It is opened for contest, and if the issue of consensus so arises also, it is captured in our constitution.
All right, you heard him. So let's get some insight into some of this matter. I'm now being joined by a former Minister of State for Housing and Environment during the Shagari's first term in office, and the Minister of FCT during the Obasanjo's first time. He's a member of the PDP National Executive Committee. Actually, Ibrahim Bunu joins us here in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Do you think NEC, as it has approved the zoning arrangement in the party, and at the end of the day, throwing the zoning for the presidential seat open, do you think that is the right thing to do?
This is the decision of the National Executive Committee. There are other bodies which set to discuss the zoning formula before bringing a recommendation to the National Executive Committee. And almost every member of NEC had attended the meeting where this decision was taken. Therefore, it is a unanimous decision, and the party believes this is going to help the party in its pursuit in the future.
I have a sense that your party is very conscious of the political climate. And it gives me a feeling because each of the leaders of the party have talked about the opposition. It does look like, I mean, for the first time in a long time, your party seems to be very conscious of the opposition. Is your party afraid of the APC?
Well, PDP wouldn't be afraid of any party.
Even the APC?
Even the APC.
Why?
But in politics, you do not underestimate your opponent. And it is only a normal process for you to consider the presence and the strengths of your competitors. In taking our decision to zone the national chairman of the party to the north, we didn't consider any other party's position. We considered what is most expedient for our party. We even suspect the APC is waiting to see the position taken by PDP before they take their position on such on zoning issue. So if you say, are we afraid? No, it's not afraid.
But have you played into their hands? Have you played into the APC's hands?
No, we are very careful. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing.
So is it clear where your party, your party has really thrown up this issue of rotation, which some people will wonder, is it necessary to even consider this issue of rotation? I mean, does it matter which region? Because it then brings up the issue of ethnicity. Down the line, you start talking about religion, which are some of the two major problems that we always have in our politics. So the question will be, other than religion and ethnicity or region, what do you think is more important in considering who leads this country?
You see, zoning as a policy isn't entrenched in PDP constitution. Ab initio in 1999, there was a very extensive discussion before arriving at zoning the presidency to the south. This was done in response to the general political climate at that time. You can call that is electoral strategy if you want at that time, because the June 12 crisis was prevalent in our mind. And in order to give all parts of the country a feeling of belonging, a feeling that the party is sensitive to the psyche or to the worries of various components of the country. So the party took decision to zone it to the south and the presidency at that time. It was not at that time called a zoning rotational. It wasn't discussed like this. At that point in time, it was considered as a political strategy to put up somebody from the south so that the rest of the country would not feel that the north or any other part of the country is dominating them. And you know how Abiola's election was annulled, and eventually he died in that in the process of detention and prison. So, in order to assuage their anger and worry from that part of the country, it was decided at that time to zone the presidency to the south. This did not stop anybody from the rest of the country to seek for nomination. Like Abubakar Remi, late Abubakar Remi, went and contested the primaries. But because the majority of the party had taken that decision, the nomination went to President Obasanjo. And so zoning at that time was done because of responding to what was the worry in Nigeria at that time.
And I will say, Your Excellency, that not all rules and laws are written. I mean, you make reference that it is not in your constitution. Any rule, any regulation that guides the association of people is seen as a law. It might not be cast in a written or a book such as a constitution.
Yes.
But you have played by that rule for several years.
That's true.
Yeah, so
that's true. I'm coming to the explanation.
What makes it?
I am coming to the
what makes it less of importance now?
When President Obasanjo was elected, and he had done one term, there were agitations from people that the presidency should come to the north or whatever it is, but this was suppressed, or people were convinced that they should allow President Obasanjo to do eight-year terms, second term. And when President Obasanjo finished, or was finishing, then the people from the north in the party now went agitating that let the presidency now come back to the north. This pursuit, this dialogue to bring the presidency to the north after President Obasanjo 8 years, now started the process of entrenching the rotation in our psyche. You understand? It was not, as I said, it was not constitutional matter.
I mean, of course. So it's a brainchild of
yes.
the incidents. But let me look. You see what is happening. I'm going to take you to the issue of the consensus. But I want, because since you in the PDP are looking closely at what is happening in the APC, you're hearing some of the names that have been thrown up in the APC. Bola Tinubu, VP Oshibajo. Does it give your party some kind of, does it send jitters through the veins of some of you in the PDP?
You see, nobody goes into election to lose, whether it is the APC or us in the PDP. The calculation for who will become the candidate is a continuous process, because it will come to the point when we would sit down and discuss, just like we discussed this national chairmanship arrangement. We would come to discuss where the presidency will come, because the objective is to win the election and fly the flag of the party.
So you are not going to look at where anybody comes from. You are going to get a candidate that is strong enough.
That is the objective.
Okay, so let me ask you, this idea of consensus, how important is it for your party?
Now, I don't know what you mean by consensus here.
You heard Governor Bala Mohammed talk about it.
He is talking about the national chairman of the candidate of the party zoned to the north.
Yeah.
And they are looking for, or we are looking for, those who are interested. If there are many, you wouldn't want to carry too many people into party elections. So a committee is set up to look into the various interested parties and see if a few of them will qualify and be very suitable to do the job, because there are serious challenges in the party and in the forthcoming election. And you would want a very strong chairman. You would want a chairman that is appealing to party members and even to the electorate. A chairman who can conduct the campaign for the elections very well. And therefore, the committee is going to assess the various people. And we believe that even if it is not consensus for one person is not done, the number will be reduced to enable the convention choose the best out of a reduced number.
But a consensus will definitely give you some peace on the day of the convention, because it's easier, but it's very difficult to agree.
This is party politics.
Yeah. Let's take a moment, Your Excellency. We'll take a break. And when we come back, we get the concluding thoughts of architect Ibrahim Bunu, and we dwell on the internal issues of the APC and the 2023 presidential race. We get some members of the party to talk about some of those things that are happening. The Bola Tinubu and the Yemi Oshibajo matters that have risen up in the last few days. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome back. Let's get the closing thoughts of architect Ibrahim Bunu, a former Minister of State for Housing and Environment during the Shagari's first term, and the Minister of FCT during the Obasanjo's first term. Thank you so much for coming tonight, architect Bunu, who is also a member of the NEC of the PDP. So, for us to conclude this conversation, it's easier for your party to have a consensus. It's easier, but it's not easy to achieve a consensus. So, in a nutshell, you lost election in 2015. You lost again in 2019, back to back. And the same party that you have lost is to the APC. And you're going to go up against the APC in 2023. Do you see your party emerging victorious?
We believe that APC is a caricature of various parties coming together. Already, there are differences. The components are showing their true colors. PDP has been the party for the last 20 years. Yes, we lost in 2015. And at that time, the circumstances were such that the candidature wouldn't be discussed because the serving president was there. And it was easy to discredit our party for certain events within the government at that time. And also, the big promises of APC and the standing of the personality of President Muhammad Buhari against corruption or corrupt practices was so attractive to the electorate that it undid PDP. But today, the electorates are better informed. And PDP has done better in governance, in government, than APC. So,
in what sense? What are the parameters?
The 8 years of Obasanjo, 2 years of Umaru or Yar'Adua, and 6 years of Goodluck, a lot of things have been done. If you take one issue, Obasanjo, during his tenure, negotiated for debt relief and settled all the outstanding debts of Nigeria and left a lot of money in government coffers at the end of his tenure. That is one issue. Nigeria's indebtedness has never gone as high as it is today. The situation on ground, unemployment, insecurity, inflation, you will count for the rest of the day how many things are scaring or threatening the comfort of the Nigerian populace. When PDP comes in, PDP has experience to put these things into proper perspective and get results. Don't forget that there were threats like insecurity during Obasanjo. He dealt with the situation very well. Also, things like the Niger Delta crisis, Umaru Yar'Adua solved it easily. So PDP has these experiences, and PDP will solve most of the Nigerian problems.
You think Nigerians can trust your party again?
Because we have records to show.
The APC would say easily that your party led us to this point where we are.
How?
The crisis that we've seen in the country, economic Economically, they said your party,
banditry,
your party stole this country dried. Those are the allegations the APC has made against your party.
It is very easy to say so.
Is it not true?
No.
It's not true?
No.
Okay. So what's the truth then?
You see, when oil prices go up and down, when it's down, so many things happen. You are not able to finance your budgets. You are not able to meet your developmental project commitments. You are not able to meet your promises to the electorate. These are reasons why it was easy for APC to campaign against PDP at that time. But we have seen the government today. We have more than enough information to say about them.
Architect Ibrahim Bunu, a former Minister of State for Housing and Environment during the Chagari's first term and a Minister of FCT during the Obasanjo's first term. Thank you so much indeed for coming tonight.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate it.